Wilbur sat down leisurely as well. He even lit a cigarette. Norman's expression darkened. Hey, you can't smoke in here. Are you really looking to be thrown off the second floor? I'd like to see you try and do that. Wilbur hardly paid him any mind. Norman scoffed, shouting for security at once. Nancy panicked at the sight. Wilbur, forget it. Let's go. Nancy was afraid this might cause a commotion and end up in a mess. However, just then, Chelsea was seen hurrying over to their location. Norman's chest lurched at the sight. Did this man really know Chelsea? Norman was still doubtful of the fact that someone like Wilbur would be acquainted with Chelsea. Maybe she was just walking around the mall. First, he got to his feet and walked up to Chelsea respectfully. Miss Willow, what brings you here? Chelsea paid him no mind, making a beeline to Wilbur. What's the matter, Wilbur? The familiarity left Norman in a daze. When was Chelsea Willow acquainted with Wilbur? The other staff members were in shock as well. That was indeed Miss Willow, and she was also close to him. That was far too shocking. Miss Willow came from a family worth millions. How could this be? Wilbur wasted no time. This manager of yours keeps harassing my ex-classmate. Fire him. He did not bother cutting corners talking to Chelsea. Chelsea turned to Norman at once. How dare you? Who did he harass? Norman began sweating immediately despite his years of experience at Willow Corp. Chelsea was the CEO and could really get him fired just like that. In a fit of panic, Norman said, Miss Willow, I did nothing of the sort. He framed me. Is that so? Chelsea trusted Wilbur fully, so she turned to Nancy and the rest to ask, who here was harassed by him? Nancy finally realized then that Wilbur had not been making things up. Miss Willow really did know him. Wilbur and their relationship seemed like a pretty close one. Nancy was no longer scared and said, Norman Cheddar harassed me, and more than once too. He has also done the same to many other female staff members in the mall, Chelsea said at once. Norman Cheddar, you're fired. You can't fire me, Miss Willow. I'm practically a veteran here, and I've contributed so much to the company. How could you do this to me? Norman was starting to panic. Getting to this position had not been easy for him, and he was not going to give it up just like that. Yet Chelsea had no time to listen to him. I don't care what you've done for the company. Harassment is an unforgivable offense. You might even have a court case in your hands if anyone decides to sue you. If I were you, I'd shut up my mouth and get lost immediately. Norman could hardly believe what he was hearing. He did not expect this young girl, Chelsea, to be such a firm character. She did not care who he was at all. Just then, a few security guards came rushing over to stand by Norman. What's the matter, sir? Norman started sweating bullets, not daring to say anything in response. Chelsea saw that and said, You can take Norman Cheddar to his office. Watch him as he packs up his personal belongings. Then, you'll take him to HR and fill out the resignation paperwork. Huh? It was only then that the security guards realized that Chelsea was there. It was Norman who had called them over to take someone away. How had things turned out this way?